Hello, I'm Diane. I started the US office of Waze in 2009 and launched in Indonesia right here in 2013. For anyone who doesn't know, Waze is a real-time navigation and traffic application on a mission to save everybody time every day, at least 5 minutes when you would otherwise be stuck in traffic. We all know that Indonesians spend a lot of time on the road, and that's why we're here. We want to make sure that we're able to be here on the ground to make sure that we can help solve mobility problems and improve traffic conditions here. Today, I want to share 3 things. Number 1, I want to share the work that we've done here that has set a global standard for the way that corporations, governments, and citizens work together to solve mobility problems. The results have been impressive. Number 2, I have 2 big announcements about what's next for Waze in Indonesia. And number 3, I want to give a huge thank you to our community of map editors, without whom none of this would be possible. They're the ones who keep us close to the ground and keep pushing us to do more locally. But before we get to all of that, why Indonesia? A rich and layered history of exploration, trade, and diversity has made Indonesia one of the most important countries for innovation and for export of knowledge across the globe. We like to say internally that all roads start in Indonesia and then expand out. And it's true. Many of our firsts have been right here. For example, our smart city pilots that started here are now being rolled out across the world. The first city to be one of our Connected Citizens partners in Asia, Jakarta. The first country where we ever worked with mobile operators, Indonesia. And Indonesia is also the country that has the most broadcast and radio partners anywhere else in Asia. For example, Net TV, CNN Indonesia, iNews, Barati Satu, El Shinta, on, Jack and Jen FM. This means that we're able to provide the best real-time traffic to Indonesians across multiple channels. We also have a huge community of Wazers here. We have more than 2 million drivers in Jakarta alone. Indonesia is our second biggest market in all of Asia, and it's number 6 out of 185 markets where we currently operate. Very, very important market for us. We also feel needed. Indonesia is home to some of the most vibrant cities in Asia, but that vibrancy comes at a cost. That cost is massive traffic congestion. In the greater Jakarta area, there are more than 25 million trips per day. 25 million. It's incredible. And the average Jakarta driver has 33,000 stops and starts in traffic in a given year. That's more than anywhere else in the world. That's a lot of time to bond with Waze. So we feel an obligation to do something here. It's a problem we're working on solving together, though, and we're pretty happy about the early results. In 2014, we launched something called the Connected Citizens Program. This is a data exchange platform that allows us to collect road closures, incidents, crowdsource traffic patterns, and share that with cities so that they can use that information to solve the worst traffic problems. Jakarta was the first city in Asia to be part of that program. And actually, they were so early that they were part of our very first 10 cities. This program today is now 450 cities and departments of transportation around the world. And the Jakarta Smart City Unit is using this information to identify the worst pain points for mobility and to evaluate the information about what works and what doesn't work. So, for example, the odd-even license plate restrictions. Let's look at some results. This is traffic in Jakarta in the first half of last year. It's pretty intense. And if you can imagine, in May of last year, it got even worse when they ended the 3-in-1 traffic policy. The 3-in-1 traffic policy increased traffic on those 3-in-1 roads by 101%, and on alternate roads by 31%. But there was an important positive social outcome to removing this policy. Child exploitation was decreased, and there was no more room for jockeys who got paid just to sit in a car to avoid penalties for the policy. So what did the Smart City team do, the Jakarta Smart City unit? They piloted a program around odd-even license plate restrictions, and the results were incredible. 19% decrease in travel time during the pilot. They could figure that out because they were using our data. They could figure out in record speed that it was working and roll it out for the long term. This is really phenomenal. In addition to rolling out this policy in the rest of Jakarta, they shared this case study with the rest of those Connected Citizens partners, and it's now being rolled out across the world. Thank you, Jakarta. Let's look at some local examples, things we're trying to do to make it feel that we are a bit more connected here on the specific roads. This brings me to announcement number 1. We know that this program, this policy is working. At the same time, the community came to us and they said, it's not going well because we can't figure out a way to navigate. We don't know which day of the week we should be using which route. So thanks to the community, I'm very happy to announce that we will be the first app to allow you to navigate based on your license plate numbers. We call it license plate routing, and Indonesians just have to add the last 2 digits of their license plate number and immediately be given the route for that day of the week. We hope it's going to save you a tremendous amount of time and stress on the road. OK, so that's announcement number 1. A couple more small things. 1, mudik. We know that this is a very difficult traffic season for all of you. And so what we did was we analyzed historical data to figure out what were going to be the best and worst times to leave so that you could get home faster. This was used by 14 million Indonesians this year. But it's still a lot of time spent in the car. So we partnered with Spotify to create a custom curated playlist just for mudik, just for Indonesia, so that you could have a little fun on the road. In 2015, we launched our first Bahasa Indonesia voices. And these voices were Septi and Alva, 2 real-life map editors who thought we needed local voices. Today, Septi and Alva are navigating 2.5 million Indonesians. They've chosen their voices as guides. That brings me to announcement number 2 for the day. And I'm very excited about this one. Today, you will have available to you our very first Indonesia voice suite. This includes a new voice, Dian, nothing to do with me. I can dream. Dian is much smarter than the previous voices. She has better text-to-speech, and she has street names, a lot more information than we currently had. And that's not the only thing we're launching today. In addition to Dian's voice, we have Bahasa voice commands. So you will simply tell Waze, go home, report traffic, and you don't have to touch your phone. So hands-free, even safer. And that's not all. There's another key element to this Indonesian voice suite, and it's you. As of today, you're going to be able to record your own voice, any dialect, any language, any style. You're the new voice of Waze. And you can share it. You can share it with your friends, family, and if you're a celebrity, you can share it with your fans. So I can't wait to see who's going to be guiding me around Jakarta next time I'm here. This is available today. It launched this morning, so feel free to play with it. There's also an experience zone out there where you can go a lot deeper and get the in-depth demo, so I hope you check it out. It's pretty fun out there. Lastly, as mentioned, I want to thank our community of Wazers. They are constantly challenging us to do more and let us know what's going on. Really, without them, we couldn't do any of this. They're the heart of everything we do. I also want to thank our Wazers and our partners. because it's inspiring to be working side by side with them as modern-day explorers and teachers for the rest of the world. We're committed to Indonesia. We're committed to solving and fixing and improving mobility here. And we're just really excited to be a part of it all. If you don't already use Waze, please feel free to download it. It's free. And you'll be helping your neighbors, your colleagues avoid traffic, and you'll be keeping Indonesia a Waze pioneer. Ayo Indonesia. With that, I'd like to invite Zubair onto the stage to talk about YouTube's momentum in Indonesia.